Ever been in a group setting where the moment you ask, does anybody want to share, and then everybody finds the floor super interesting? Because I have. The reality is, it is not that your teaching is boring, but it's just that people don't find their stories worth sharing. But what if there was a way to get everyone to collaborate? What if there was a framework that could help get them to share? Before that, roll the intro. Hi, my name is Joel Wong, and for the past 8 years, I have been obsessed with one question. How do we build leaders that last? I've led workshops with UNICEF and the government in Sarawak. I've coached teachers across East Malaysia, and I've also helped youth raise over 10,000 ringgit for different social projects. What I've learned is simple. Leadership is not about hype, but it's about building systems that turn passion into impact. If you like that, then join me as we learn together in the video. So a few months ago, I was preparing for a cell group. Work with me here because most of my examples are from church. I had my lesson plan set out, I had my 3 points, I had my idea ready. But I wanted to try something different. So 3 days before the cell group, I sent to my co-leaders the topic and asked them to prepare a 90-second story based on a 5-sentence prompt that I was experimenting on. So during the session, I shared first. I had 1,000 ringgit saved up after a few months. And by the way, 1,000 ringgit is a lot for me because I work in a charity. And when I finally hit the target, I was so excited I could go on the long-awaited trip. Then I met my friend who updated me about her parents who was wrongly released from the church almost a year ago, and they are still struggling to find a place to work because the allegations stuck through with them over the year. As I heard the story, I felt prompted that I should give. And I knew God was hinting to me to give, but I said, I don't want to give in my mind. I worked so hard for it, I deserve to go for it. It's not like I was lazy, I put in the effort. But in that moment, God just kind of like spoke again to me and repeated. And so I said, sure, I will give 1,000 ringgit. So I gave the 1,000 ringgit to my friend, told her to not tell her parents who it came from, but just as a blessing to them. After conversion, guess what? The 1,000 ringgit was only worth 180 pounds. So it wasn't even a big thing for them. But when the parents got the money, they were so thankful and they expressed how much it means to them knowing that God was still sending love across the world. By the way, they live in England. And they were still committed to serving the local community with what little they had. That's it. That was like the 90-ish seconds of a story, and the topic was about obedience. Then I called one of my co-leaders and he shared his story, and then followed by another leader, and everyone was so excited to hear the different stories about obedience and how it applied to their lives that I had to cut it short because we were so way off track. But that's the power of it. It was real stories, real people, and it became a discussion where everyone learned together instead of a lecture. So here's what I learned from the whole thing. Testimonies before or just after a bit of teaching can change everything. People usually tell me it's you teach a lesson first, you get them to reflect, and you hope they apply it in their coming week. But in my experience, it's the opposite, because people don't connect with principles. People connect with people first. And that's where the testimony slide flips the script. You need to start your story within the first 5 minutes so that it sticks with everyone. Why does it work? Let me tell you. Number 1, it humanizes you. You are not the person with all the answers. You also struggle, but you choose to obey God, or you still choose to do the hard thing. Number 2, it gives permission. When you are vulnerable and share your story, others feel safe to do the same. Number 3, it proves that your principle works in real life. People get to see it in motion just before or just as you explain about the lesson. But here's the key. Your story should not be perfect. Your story should not be polished, but it should be true. When you share all positive and happy moments, right, people find it hard to believe you, or you create a distance because the expectations of what people's lives are living with the struggle and what you are sharing is so far away. When you decide to share your struggles, it allows people to connect the best. Because when the whole world is talking about their perfect moments, you are choosing to be real, raw, and honest. And that's what people are looking for, especially today in a world of social media where everyone's only highlighting their wins, their great moments, but no one's talking about their real, raw struggle moments. And listen, if you can't find a story that connects to the topic, it might not be a content problem, it could actually just be a life problem. For me, when I experience that, I take it as an invitation to re-evaluate how I'm living, as well as maybe this could be an area for me to look into for the next month. That I'm more intentional, that I am more focused on the way and the manner I live. Here's the reality: if you're following the world's rhythm, everything is easier. It's easier to just chase what everyone's chasing. It's easier to do what everyone's doing. I mean, it's easy to just look for money. It's easy to just be okay. I do my stuff and then I'm good. But leadership, real leadership, is never easy. Your youth need to see that you are struggling with whatever they are struggling. You're going through the same things that they are going through. You are feeling and you are experiencing the same thing that they are going through. Because that's how we relate, that's how we connect, and that's how we bring the best out of ourselves, by learning from the experiences of those who live before us. So here's how we actually do this. The testimony slide only has 5 sentences. Sentence 1, the context. I had some money, I earned and saved, but I also heard of my friend's parents who were struggling. Sentence 2, the choice. What decision did I have to make? Do I spend the 1,000 ringgit that I saved up on, or do I listen to God and give the 1,000 ringgit to bless her parents? Sentence 3 and 4, the impact. What did my decision lead towards to? The 180 pounds was given. I didn't get to go on my holiday, but the parents were encouraged and they kept on serving their community with what little they had. And it taught me that surrendering my plans allowed for a greater impact that was beyond my control. Sentence 5, tying it back. How does my story relate back to the lesson? That week's lesson was generosity, and the tie back was generosity is not about the amount, but it's about the obedience to just give. And that's the structure: context, decision, impact. Keep it to 90 seconds maximum. You're not here to teach a lesson, you're not here to do a lecture, you're not here to take the whole time. We're just here to help paint a picture to support the learning for today. So that's basically it. The structure works the same for whatever you teach. Humility, generosity, forgiveness, obedience. It's a very flexible structure. Now here is where this gets powerful. You should not expect yourself to use this alone forever, but instead we're gonna train our co-leaders, our co-facilitators, and our core team to use this together with us. So here is the system that I tried to help make sure it happens. 3 days before the session, text my team what the topic's about and ask them to prepare a 90-second story using the 5-sentence prompt. Again, to remind them, they're not supposed to share a lecture, they're not supposed to share a lesson, but just share a 90-second story to help paint a better picture. During the session, you have to model it first. Share your testimony so that your team can understand what vulnerability looks like. And then when you're done, get them to share. This is powerful because of 2 reasons. Number 1, it shows your youth that sharing a testimony is not just the main cell group leader or the main speaker's job, but everybody has a story. And in that space, everyone is invited and welcome to share their story together. Number 2, you're also training your leadership team. You are training them so that as they practice this more often, they'll be better at spontaneously sharing their 90-second story to help encourage, to help support the learning of whatever is happening in that day or that lesson. But we gotta be careful. We can't expect everyone to just be thrown into the deep end and be able to spontaneously share their 90-second testimony. And that's why we have this system in place to structure and support them in getting there. Because here's the reality: if our co-leaders are not ready to share, the odds are 95% of our youth are also not ready to share. Culture flows from leadership. I'll say it again. Culture flows from leadership. So the question isn't about, do I have a story? But it's a question to ask, is my team living a life that is worth sharing about? And it's very, very scary. And if the answer is they don't have it yet, no worries. That becomes an invitation to reflect, to think about the way that we live. That in the next month, are there things that we can do to intentionally improve and better ourselves? Because the reality is, I also fall short. We all fall short, which means that there's always an opportunity for us to improve, to be better, so that we can do more, lead more, and encourage our own youth to do the same. Quick note on logistics: this usually works the best in groups of 5 to maximum 30 people. The idea is that we want to help foster human connection. If you're gonna do this for 100 people, that's called a conference, and it will not work if you're expecting one person to share their 90-second story to 100. Why? It's because stories like this are supposed to help connect the person in the front who's sharing to the person in the back who's listening. So if you're gonna do it for a big group, my advice is break everyone up into groups of maybe 8 to 10. Get them to share and then call them back. And then when you invite them to share, ask them to share about a story that they heard. Not their own, but a story that they heard. Because now it relieves the pressure from them to share their own story, as well as they are able to honor someone else's sharing. Hope that helps. So here's your challenge this week. Number 1, at your next session with your youth, open and share about your story. The same 90-second 5-prompt story. Number 2, 3 days before that session, text your leadership team the topic and also for them to prepare their own 90-second story. Number 3, if your group is bigger than 30 people, then already pre-plan and divide them into groups of 6 to maybe 7. Number 4, after it's all done, regroup and share amongst your leadership team what worked and what didn't work. Because I'm just sharing what worked in my context, in my different communities. For you, we have to adapt and we have to refine it to match the people that you are serving with. Because the greatest communicators and the greatest connectors are not people that just copy and paste and go, but they are people who actively refine, who actively improve, and who actively figure out how they can do it even better for the people they need to connect with. P.S. I'm a Christian, so whatever I share usually links back to biblical principles and they are from church context. But these work for anyone who wants to lead with humility, conviction, clarity, and care. And by the way, if you want a copy of these slides, you can find it in the link in my bio. And if you want just the question, you can just copy it from the description below. Hopefully this helps you, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. PS, if you've made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much. I'm actually recording this video series because God has allowed me to lead 5 different youth groups over the course of my 8 years in serving. And I realized that if one day I was to die, that I would not be able to support the current leaders that I am journeying with now. Amanda, Ziyi, Matthew, Daniel, Samuel, Elijah, Chloe, Rachel. And so for the 8 of you, this is what I am doing to help make sure that if I die tomorrow, you will always have these lessons to support you in your leadership journey today, next year, or in the next 5 years, or maybe throughout your life. So, yep, I'll see you the next time I see you. Ciao.